right, y'all want to talk eggs?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Could you
Hey,
just lay out?
excuse me.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Just lay out succinctly what the plan actually is. I read the op-ed.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, thank you all so much. Really great to be here and to get to talk about this. Clearly, one of the key issues facing America today are the egg prices, and the president has made it one of his priorities from minute one that we bring those prices down for consumers while protecting America's farmers. And very quickly, you can see here this chart. The prices of eggs under Biden have just skyrocketed. Under Trump went down a little bit. Obama went up a little bit. So it's more than just the avian flu, but certainly that has been the driver. So just this morning, I'm going to hand this back off. So just this morning, we announced the plan to, first of all, attack the avian flu and how we pull it back out of our poultry producers, but secondly, how we bring the cost of eggs down. So that plan has 5 parts. The first part is a biosecurity part, and what that means is that how do we lock our poultry barns down? How do we ensure that our egg-laying chickens aren't getting this disease? Mostly it comes from wild fowl that fly over or get into the barns. So USDA will be producing at no charge an audit to every single egg farmer in this country, and then we will help them secure their barns. Of 150 pilot projects on this exact project, only one has gotten the avian flu since the USDA came in and helped lock those barn down. So that's first. Secondly, we're going to work to move much more quickly on repopulating the 160 million birds that have been culled in just the last few months. So what do we need to do to get regulations out of the way to help indemnify these poultry producers to start repopulating much more quickly than we've been doing? Third is a deregulation effort. That is ensuring that the rules that have been layered on our producers, our egg producers over the last really 4 years, that we begin to peel those back. That will allow costs to come down. That's a little bit more long term, but really important. There are some rules in play that are costing the eggs to go up without the avian flu as part of it. The fourth is we're looking to import eggs in the short term. This is just on the cost piece. We're already in discussions. There's been, if you dig around, you'll kind of figure out which countries, but we're talking to 3 or 4 countries right now about getting between 70 and 100 million eggs into the country in the next month or 2, which of course will help with supply and demand. And then the final, more long term, is putting significant funds into vaccine and therapeutic research. Our egg layers and our broilers, our poultry industry does not use vaccinations right now. A lot of the industry believes on the egg laying side that we should, but it isn't a proven vaccine yet. And so I was hesitant in rolling anything out that would require more vaccinations without understanding first exactly would it solve the problem. Mexico vaccinates their egg layers and they still are hit with about 80% even vaccinated with this avian flu. So instead, we're going to put some significant funding into researching how we get to that point. And the way I would think about it is it's almost like the flu vaccine, right? Most people get it, but it only works 1 out of every 2 or 3 times. Before we start sticking our chickens, we need to ensure and putting that into the food supply that we know exactly what we're doing. So that's the 5-part plan.
And what's a realistic timeline for how long this plan will take to actually?
Well, we are seeing probably even a little bit more increase up until Easter, which is actually normal because so many eggs are used around Easter. We also have only been in 30 days. I've been in 13 days. It's going to take a little while to get through, I think, the next month or 2, but hopefully by summer.
So several months.
Yeah, several months.
Which country?
I don't want to say that just yet.
Can you say whether you have staff to do this? Obviously, the government is making staffing footprint. How are you balancing that? Is USDA exempt from that? On that?
Yeah, so I obviously fully support Doge. In fact, I turned in the 5 big things I've done this last week. I'm very proud of that. I'm proud of the employees at USDA. It's a great question. As we look to streamline and make more efficient the U.S. Department of Agriculture, will we have the resources needed to address the plan I just laid out? We are convinced that we will. As we realign and evaluate where USDA has been spending money, where our employees are spending their time. We've pulled out a lot of the DEI initiatives. We've stopped. We had almost 1,000 trainings we canceled on DEI on my first day on the job. We've got a lot of employees that now we will begin to recalibrate and redirect towards supporting our ag industries. I do not, no.
Can you give us 1 or 2 examples of regulations that you want to roll back?
I think that we are looking at specific rules in terms of pricing and transparency, and not that we're not 100% for transparency, but all of that needs to be looked at. The big one, honestly, is Prop 12 in California that has caused a lot of prices to go up. The average dozen eggs in California is $9.58, but because of, and it's $5 around the country, so it's almost twice as much. What Prop 12 did is it had certain regulations and requirements for parts of our livestock that really caused prices to go up. And it didn't just affect California, it affects the rest of the country because California imports and exports agriculture products.
I'm curious about the vaccine piece of this. I mean, do you have a timeline for that, or how you expect that work to roll out?
So there's a lot of work that has already been done. Clearly, I don't know the exact number. I have it in my head, but I don't want to say it in case it's wrong. But it's right around a dozen or more countries that currently use a vaccine. So it's not that it's a brand new idea. And there are a lot of people in the country, we got a lot of feedback from those who think that's the immediate solution and that we should be doing it. It has been tested around the world. When we really dug in and talking to our CDC, our Center for Disease Control, our NIH, some of the key veterinarians around the country. Next week, I'm going to a facility in Athens, Georgia, with University of Georgia that goes into this specifically within livestock. As I do that, a lot of the feedback I got was, as I mentioned, that it could be a solution, but to push that out now and require it, we're just not ready. We don't have enough information, and we need to fully understand how it will affect the food supply. So those are all really, really important questions that I think have to be answered. So we've got $100 million of that $1 billion plan that will be focused specifically on vaccines, but not just on vaccines, on therapeutics. Is there a way to address the avian flu with therapeutics, not just vaccines?
Secretary, we've got potential tariffs coming up in the course of the next month. In the past, retaliatory tariffs have often been American agriculture producers, farmers. What is your message to both your cabinet colleagues, the president, as well as these other countries about how to balance that? I mean, are you worried that American farmers have been caught up in this crazy?
The American farmers and ranchers are very concerned about this. This was really the theme, the coming and current tariff negotiations that are happening. Throughout my hearing and preparing for my hearing, all my confirmation meetings, both Republicans and Democrats on the Ag Committee obviously all brought this up. I just finished speaking to all of our state ag commissioners, both Republican and Democrat, this morning with a lot of other friends of agriculture. But what I know is this: President Trump has a vision. His idea of using tariffs in his toolkit has proven very successful the first time. I have no doubt it will be successful again. My job is to defend the agriculture interests in those discussions. And the multiples of conversations I've had with President Trump about this, he has continually said, please assure our farmers and our ranchers that I have their backs. Please assure them that we understand where they are in the discussions, the negotiations, and economically the straits that are currently being faced, and that at the end of this, our farmers and our ranchers will be more prosperous and see more prosperity than ever before. Thank y'all so much. Really good to be with y'all. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you. Yeah, thank y'all.